Rifle! Hello, this is Ryan. It's nice to join you virtually during your town hall. When we visited back in the late spring and early summer to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion as an action plan for the campus, it was a really great conversation, and what I think we settled on as an overall goal is pretty lofty. It's that CMC Rifle provides a space, place, and resource for diversity, equity, inclusion in the students, CMC, and broader community. The Rifle campus will become a hub, a model, and a leader for DEI. I especially love the notion of the hub, and I want to explore a little bit what it might mean for Rifle to become a hub for DEI across those different constituents. So broadly, it was decided within that working group that the domain to focus on in order to achieve this, at least to make the first steps, is really around climate and environment, building that campus culture that could serve as that hub of diversity, equity, and inclusion to serve that space, place, and resource for students, the broader college, and the broader community. Some particular outcomes to be thinking about and working toward include engaging families, community, and students, increasing the frequency of culturally relevant events, hopefully yielding stronger retention and completion rates, as well as looking at the obvious and recognizable visuals and the semiotics, those messages that are sent to us by the environs that engender inclusion and diversity, as well as, and this is one of my favorites, more love. Some strategies to achieve these outcomes and working toward that notion of the hub for resource and DEI activity is to do a visual audit of the campus, as well as to invite community groups to use campus spaces more often. There was a notion of family Fridays, and that those could be instituted more regularly, as well as a families orientation that could collaborate with a group like Las Madres. Ay, mi español. Peer mentoring advisors are seen as a nice strategy to enhance, to amplify in this effort, and perhaps very pragmatically providing some professional development for ADIs to focus on diverse climates and environments. Some resources beyond professional development, which is an obvious one, include strengthening the context with community organizations and building time into ADI workspaces and work responsibilities so that there can be expectations for PD around these issues. Potentially needing some new staff, creating new spaces for students on campus, and perhaps dedicating some funding toward cultural events, as well as advanced marketing with the community. Central services might be called upon to develop some professional development support, to think about diversity in how classrooms are set up. It was requested that there be visits from central staff to see the goings on and the everyday life of the campus, rather than these exceptional moments like the town hall. As well as communication support, figuring out sort of an authorizing figure within central services to coordinate and follow up with campus-based semiotic or visual representations, as well as how that might be scaled to college-wide in some spaces. And then perhaps also creating a forum and a space to share with other campuses, which is a common theme throughout these visits. There are a number of ways you can think about measuring this. You can look at the physical difference in the art around campus, do some before and after imaging. Look at student participation in clubs with community members and see how that moves. as well as looking at are there non-credit enrollment students represented on Student Advisory Board, and have participation numbers increased across your academic, co-curricular, and cultural programming. All right, I hope you have a great rest of your town hall, and that this gives you a little bit to go off of and to spark some great conversations more broadly. Thanks.